There will be a huge update today, June 15th, 2023, in Diablo Immortal. Let's take a look at the outline of this update, and I'm going to break this down for y'all. Heads up! This video will be very long, as we are going to dive deep in this huge update, taking details one by one to further understand what's going to happen after the update. So make sure that your coffee is with you guys while watching this video. Let's start with Steel Yourself in the Face of Destruction's Wake. Chaos is at your doorstep, adventurer. Can you quell it? Welcome to Destruction's Wake, our fourth and largest major update for Diablo Immortal thus far. It goes without saying that your support of Diablo Immortal for the past year is what has brought us to this colossal milestone, our anniversary celebration. We cannot thank you enough for all your valuable feedback and hours spent protecting Sanctuary from the demonic legions of the burning hells. Thank you for making this possible. This update is in tribute to the co-creators of Sanctuary, Lilith and Anarius, and ushers in the new Ancient's Cradle Zone, 3 new limited-time events, 1 new skill for each class, and much more for veteran and new adventurers alike. After the upcoming maintenance periods, players with a Paragon level lower than their server's Paragon level can receive up to a 1,500% experience bonus to help them catch up and experience the features detailed in this major update. We have also raised the server Paragon level for all servers to 800. So meaning, all of us will benefit to this because I'm pretty sure there's still no player in Diablo Immortal that reached the level 800 as of now. So this is pretty cool for all of us. Now let's continue. Before we dive into the next chapter of Diablo Immortal story, we are proud to announce the launch of 4 new servers with this major update: Peace Warders, English server in Europe, Marius, German server in Europe, Kesser, Polish server in Europe, and Chinese server in East Asia. In our next content update, which is coming in about 2 weeks, we will introduce another wave of server merges for Japanese servers. As with previous content updates, there will be server maintenance starting on June 14th, from 5 p.m., 7 p.m. PDT for Oceania, China, East Asia, Southeast Asia, and Europe servers, and on June 15th, from 1 a.m., 3 a.m. PDT for servers in the Americas. After the maintenance has concluded, all items mentioned below will be live. Specific dates for any content going live afterward are provided below. New zone and questline, Ancient's Cradle. Inferno difficulty and Hearthrot demons. New combat mechanic, stances. 3 new legendary gems. New set, Seeds of Sown Gold. Justinian's Favor limited time event. Conqueror limited time PvP event. Proving of the Rift limited time event. Returning events. New legendary items, skills, and class balance. Feature updates. Bug fixes. New zone and questline, Ancient's Cradle. Your next journey takes you to Ancient's Cradle, a remote island in the Forgotten Sea. Meet the anciently lean and Inari peoples whose lineage can be traced back to Sanctuary's creation as you continue to pursue the Cult of Terror following your retrieval of the Pathstone. You must keep your wits about you, adventurer, for the Cult of Terror will stop at nothing to purify the Worldstone, putting the power of creation in the hands of Diablo himself. To visit the Ancient's Cradle Zone and embark on its main questline, you must first reach Hell Difficulty 6 and complete the Farewell Prologue quest. Speak with Sathan outside of Deckard Cain's workshop to begin the Prologue quest. The island is rife with sacredly lean and Inari ruins to explore. You'll also help quell rising tensions between the 2 groups, clean up corruption, and restore the island to its former glory across 8 new side quests. Don't forget to hone your demon decimating skills before traveling to Ancient's Cradle. This zone is plagued by the afflicted, locals who have been transformed into a new evil by the curse, amalgamations, ravenous flora and fauna who will relegate you to the bottom of the island's food chain, and Cradle Guard, constructs sent into a never-ending frenzy because of the Pathstone's removal from the island. There's no shortage of new haunts from the burning hells to snuff out. Tensions are rising, adventure. Will you rise to meet them? Inferno difficulty and Hearthrot demons. Okay, this one is a whole new level of Helliquary. A hotter degree of difficulty has erupted from the depths of the burning hells, Inferno. To unlock Inferno difficulty I, you must defeat Fangirth, Warm Feaster on Hell difficulty 8 and be at least Paragon level 800. To unlock Inferno difficulties 2 and 3, you must dispatch a new breed of evil, the Hearthrot demons. Playing on Inferno difficulty gives you access to the new Inferno difficulty leaderboards, new legendary items to enhance your build, and the new stances combat mechanic. A putrid pack of Hellraisers has ravaged Sanctuary. Meet the Hearthrot demons. Vansoon, Desolation's Scourge. The moment of Vansoon's emergence upon Sanctuary withered foliage and split the earth for miles around the Atrium Ignic. Those who gaze upon Desolation's Scourge feel their teeth and nails start to splinter. Yet it is the beast's most precise weapon, a great cannon from the Hellforge, that has claimed the greatest number of human lives. Defeating any of the Hearthrot demons drops new demonic remains, each of which matches an applicable slot in the Helliquary. I don't know if there will be new slots for the demonic remains or if these new items will just replace the existing ones in their slots. Let's find out after the update. Strazos, Steadfast Decay. Strazos views all life as a stepping stone, allowing him to take his place as the end of all things. The steadfast decay longs to oversee the slow rot of sanctuary. He feeds on souls locked in his entropic prison, draining them of their life while they watch their essence used to conquer the living. Defeating Strazos on Inferno difficulty I alone or with a party unlocks Inferno difficulty 2. Gebdu, Mountain Breaker. A creature of solitude, Gebdu strives to purge the land of life, leaving behind a bare and desolate world. The Mountain Breaker relies on his massive strength and size to shatter towns and collapse caverns, reducing any creature to paste on which his children feed. Gebdu was once shown a vision of sanctuary and now wishes to see it all crumble at once. Kulawal, the Crooked Grin. Kulawal enjoys watching a city burn like the rest of his ilk, but he finds greater pleasure in tricking his city's residents into lighting their own kindling. No destruction is sweeter than the destruction of trust. Those who stumble into his crooked castellet soon become his puppets, wetting their hands with the blood of friends and family, denied the mercy of death until their new master is satisfied, and he is never satisfied. Defeating Kulawal, the Crooked Grin on Inferno difficulty 2 unlocks Inferno difficulty 3. Yamnul of the Deluge. Yamnul's joy in slaying mortals is downright subdued next to his relish in the erosion of everything around him. Endless, corrosive rain heralds his appearance, even the sightless tlatch that share his prey have had their eyes worn away in the damp of the sunken grotto. Sarodin, Sky Sunderer. The fulminous parapet once secured the mountain pass between Aranak and Kanduras in the time of Rakis, but now it is home to a demon that has broken the sky into subservience. Sarodin cackles with thunderous glee as his victims flee in panic, for both they and the Sky Sunderer know that no one can outrun lightning, no one can escape the reach of the sky. New to the Heliquary Gauntlet, Hearthrod Demons. The vile Hearthrod Demons can now be fought in the Heliquary Gauntlet. Completing the Inferno Heliquary Gauntlet for each difficulty level will earn you cosmetics from the Scions of the Storm Argent set. Okay, I already have this cosmetic. I just don't know if I can have it again in a different class. Visit Rayek to begin the challenge of a lifetime. New combat mechanic, stances. A martial innovation from the times of yore has once resurfaced in Sanctuary. It is time you worked new stances into your nightmare-slaying routine. To utilize stances, you must be in the Inferno difficulty. Once you're playing on this difficulty, you'll see a second set of weapon slots unlocked. Equip items to these slots for stances to automatically enable itself. The additional slots can have gems socketed into them to further enhance your character's power. Wow! This can boost our resonance starting from 150 to 500 or a whopping 1000 resonance per gem, depending on what type of gems you will use. So do not throw away your existing gems and feed them to your favorite gem because it can be very helpful to just equip it. So new items with new gems is really awesome. So excited for this. Now that you've got the right equipment, it's time to teach you how to use your stances. All classes have both an offensive and defensive stance. They each provide unique passive bonuses that further the proficiencies of your class and can be shifted every 30 seconds while in combat. Upon switching stances, the passive bonus will be thrice as strong for the first 3 seconds, allowing you to immediately reap the benefits of your offensive or defensive stance. This one is kind of similar to the power and command gem effect. I just don't know yet if this will automatically switch every 30 seconds or you have to manually choose what stance you want to activate. Either offensive or defensive. For me, I think it is much better to have it pick manually or by choice so you can stick to a certain build you want. Listed below are the offensive and defensive stances and their passive bonuses for each class. Barbarian Offensive Stance. Frenzy. Upon activation, primary attack speed is increased by 20% for 3 seconds. After the initial duration ends, the increase will be reduced to 10%. This one is good for Frenzy build of course, but it is just good for a single target. So better to use this in Heliquary raids. For Barbarian's defensive stance, we have the Fortified. Upon activation, gain a shield that absorbs damage equal to 30% of your maximum life for 3 seconds. And the incoming damage will be reduced by 10%. So this one is good for PvP as it will make your Barbarian tankier. Now for the Crusaders, the offensive stance is Focus. Upon activation, the critical hit chance for skills is increased by 20% for 3 seconds. After the initial duration ends, the increase will be reduced to 10%. I don't know if this is a good idea because we all know that Crusaders have their holy banner to boost their critical hit chance up to 100%. So I just don't know yet if this stance will be useful for the Crusaders. For their defensive stance, also Fortified. Similar to Barbarian, and this is more helpful. Demon Hunter Offensive Stance, Precision. Upon activation, the critical hit chance for primary attacks is increased by 20% for 3 seconds. After the initial duration ends, it will be reduced to 10. So again, this is a huge buff for the Demon Hunters. For the defensive stance, Agility. Upon activation, quickly forward 5 yards. Movement speed is increased by 10%. I don't know what this means. Is this some kind of a skill? I'm a bit confused about this as they said the stance have passive bonuses. But this agility makes me think that if it's passive, then every time your stances switch then your character will dash forward. Dive forward? I don't, it just said quickly forward 5 yards. Let's just find out after the update. For the monk offensive stance, also precision. Similar to demon hunters. But the defensive is restoration. Upon activation, immediately restore 15% of max life. Your healing and shield effects will be increased by 20%. This one is pretty cool, the monks. Since they are also melee class, they also need to be a bit tanky. Now for the necromancer, they have the command. Upon activation, you and your summon's attack speeds are increased by 20% for 3 seconds. After the initial duration ends, it will be reduced to 10. Similar to Frenzy of Barbarians. For their defensive stance, they have also the agility. Similar to Demon Hunters. The Wizards also wields the focus in their offensive stance. Similar to Crusaders, and their defensive stance is the restraint. Upon activation, all nearby enemies are stunned for 3 seconds. Your primary attacks will reduce the movement speed of the enemies by 40%. 20% reduction for the players. There are a few additional things to note about stances. While 4 weapons are equipped, all legendary gems, legendary item affixes, and attributes will be active. Offensive bonuses of equipped weapons are reduced to 60% power while in the defensive stance. You may only equip 1 legendary item that affects each skill while stances are active. Stances inject another layer of variety into the moment-to-moment combat of Diablo Immortal. We are excited to expand the ways in which players can react to whatever health throws their way and see our community take their builds to new heights. Done with the stances, now let's go to 3 new legendary gems. 3 new legendary gems have joined the lineup. Experiment with these gems to discover new synergies and make your characters build blaze like the flames of the burning hells. The below values for each gem reflect their power at rank 10. Exigent Echo, 1-star gem. Your block chance is increased by 30% for 6 seconds when you receive a critical hit. Cannot occur more often than once every 20 seconds. During the effect, damage received when blocking is reduced by 12%. This one is good for F2P players who wish to build a tanky character. Bane, 2-star gem. Your channeling skills have a 10% chance to dissolve enemy armor for 6 seconds, increasing the damage they take by 15%. Cannot occur against the same target more often than once every 20 seconds. The dissolve effect also reduces the movement speed of enemies by 16%. This gem will make the wizards OP again. And last, but not the least. The Starfire Shard, 5-star gem. When you deal damage, you have a 30% chance to rain meteorites in an area, dealing 500% base damage plus 2026 in total. Cannot occur more often than once every 20 seconds. The meteorites also scorch the ground for 2 seconds, burning enemies in the area and dealing 40% base damage every second. Oh my god, what is this? That 500% of base damage is too personal. Holy cow! Everybody will of course want this OP gem. Moving on. You can now modify your drop tables. From June 15th, 3:00 a.m., July 13th, 2:59 a.m. server time, players will have the option to enable a modified drop table for their legendary crests when running Elder Rifts. Once enabled, whenever you receive a 5-star legendary gem as a drop, there's a 50% chance it will be Starfire Shard. Additionally, whenever you receive a 2-star legendary gem as a drop, there's a 50% chance it will be Mother's Lament. Then, from July 13th, 3 a.m., August 3rd, 3 a.m. server time, players can enable a modified drop table for their legendary crests, which allows them to choose 12 5-star legendary gems. Whenever you receive a 5-star legendary gem, it is guaranteed to be one of the gems you selected. New set items. Seeds of Sown Gold. Seeds of Sown Gold is a new item set that's obtainable from dungeons in Inferno difficulty I and higher. This set is centered around channeled skills and rewards players who continually channel to deal additional damage. Seeds of Sown Gold, 2-piece bonus. Continually channeling a skill against the same enemy gradually increases the damage of that skill up to a maximum of 30%. Seeds of Sown Gold, 4-piece bonus. After you stop channeling a skill, enemies hit by it take an additional explosion of damage for 30% of the damage dealt to them by that channeled skill. Seeds of Sown Gold, 6-piece bonus. After you start channeling a skill, gain Artisan's Endurance for 8 seconds. While channeling under the effect of Artisan's Endurance, you are immune to knockback effects and damage dealt to you is reduced by 40%. This effect cannot occur more often than once every 40 seconds. I think I'm gonna need this for my Barbarian. Since I still don't have the Broken Soul or Sundered Essences and even the Trail of Flames essence, I think I'm gonna use my Whirlwind build to pair it with this set. Seeds of Sown Gold items can be acquired from the following dungeons. Artisan's Care, Next Silent Monastery. Gleaming Gullers, Boots Cavern of Echoes. Harvest of Dust, Gloves Destruction's End. Revolving Folly, Belt Pit of Anguish. Round Ray, Ring Temple of Namari. Unearth Light, Ring Temple of Namari. Justinian's Favor Limited Time Event. With Hell's demons running amok, wealth and safety are scarce in Sanctuary. The people of Westmarch turned to King Justinian IV, seeking leadership and reassurance. Instead, Justinian suppresses the concerns of his subjects with paltry amounts of coin, obsessing over his beloved artifacts instead. May Justinian's favor rain down upon you too, adventurer. Each day from June 15th, 3 a.m., July 13th, 3 a.m. server time, you can embark on Justinian's favor tasks. Completing 7 tasks will earn you a key. Finishing 3 challenge rifts and logging in once during the event's duration will earn you 1 additional key each. Use all 3 of your keys to unlock the chest in the events menu and you'll receive these rewards for your bravery: 3 legendary crests, 7 rare crests, 3 random 1-star legendary gems. Conqueror Limited Time PvP Event. An ancient fighting pit where the Faharan aristocracy held brutal games has been uncovered in Shasar. Fight tooth and nail during the Conqueror Limited Time PvP event to bring honor to your name and riches to your collection. From June 16th, 3 a.m., June 28th, 3 a.m. server time, players can enter a Conqueror PvP match using their own build or select a pre-constructed character built for their class. Each match contains multiple strongholds that must be captured by your team. The first team to earn 1,500 points by holding strongholds shall emerge victorious. Through participating in these matches, you can complete daily and challenge tasks to earn a random reward, such as legendary items, set items, and more. Only fair contest is allowed in the fighting pits. Here are the rules of engagement. All characters will be set to level 60. The rank of all legendary gear and set gear will be set to 1. The rank for all legendary gems on your character will be set to 10. The integrity of the fighting pits is also maintained by disabling all bonuses from resonance and combat rating, clans and warbands, normal gems, charms, and heraldic legacy. Stances, see the feature updates section for more info on stances. This event is exciting. I hope they make this a regular event. Proving of the Rift Limited Time Event. Overcoming the horrors encountered in the challenge rifts just became a little more fruitful. Each week from June 26th, 3 a.m., July 24th, 3 a.m. server time, players can earn Proving the Rift rewards by completing challenge rifts and placing on the leaderboard. The leaderboard placements will refresh each week, affording new players the opportunity to cement their name among Sanctuary's finest. The Proving of the Rift event is your opportunity to score the new Nimbus cosmetic. They are swells of cosmic energy that move with your character for a limited time. Weeks 1 and 3 will reward players with the Arcana Nimbus cosmetic, whereas players can earn the Igneous Nimbus cosmetic from weeks 2 and 4. Here is a complete list of all rewards that can be earned each week of the event based upon your leaderboard placement. Players can attempt challenge rifts as many times as they would like, with their best score being saved at the end of the week. Placement 1, 10. Nimbus cosmetic lasts for 7 days. 100k gold. 500 hilts. Placement 11, 50. Nimbus cosmetic lasts for 3 days. 90k gold. 400 hilts. Placement 51, 300. 80k gold. 300 hilts. Placement 301, 500. 70k gold. 300 hilts. Placement 501, 700. 60k gold. 250 hilts. Placement 701, 1000. 50k gold. 200 hilts. Recruit or recall a friend. Starting on June 15th, 3 a.m. reclaim Sanctuary with friends at your heels by using the Recruit or Recall a Friend feature. To recruit or recall players, you must be at least level 20. Each player has a unique code that can be found on the events page. Copy and share this code with your friend. Alternatively, you can recall a player via an in-game invitation system located within the events menu. To be recruited, the player must be level 20 or below and have not already been recruited by another player. The recruited player can accept an invitation by inputting the recruiter's code into the Call of Allies event menu. To be recalled, the player must be above level 20 and not had any character on their account recalled previously or played Diablo Immortal in the last 14 days. Once you log in, input your friend's code into the Reunited Allies event page within 24 hours. The recruiting or recalling player will receive 10 recruitment points the first time they complete each of the following tasks. Send an invite using the in-game invitation system, 10 recruitment points. Recruit or recall one player, 10 recruitment points. One recruited or recalled player earns 27,000 battle points, 10 recruitment points. Two recruited or recalled players earn 2,700 battle points, 10 recruitment points. 3 recruited or recalled players earn 2,700 battle points, 10 recruitment points. As you earn recruitment points, you'll unlock 10 recruitment points, 2 beguiling dust, 30 scrap, and 5k gold. 20 recruitment points, 6 rare crests, and 6 normal gems. 30 recruitment points, 1 legendary crest, 3 rare crests, and 6 normal gems. 40 recruitment points, 1 legendary crest, 3 rare crests, and 6 normal gems. 50 recruitment points, 3 legendary crests, and 9 rare crests. The ability to recruit or recall players ends on July 27th at 3 a.m. server time, but players will have until August 23rd to complete tasks and earn rewards. Infernal knowledge. In Sanctuary, few are capable enough to stand against the darkness and wager their life for the defenseless. But you, adventurer, have consigned your days to thinning out the ranks of the burning hells, ushering in safety where all hope was once lost. Your quest to serve the downtrodden grows in complexity. Equip yourself with infernal knowledge to prevail. From June 17th, 3 a.m., June 25th at 3 a.m. server time, completing daily tasks will unlock various milestone rewards for your heroics, such as complete 3 tasks, 1 random legendary item. Complete 5 tasks, 3 rare crests. Complete 8 tasks, 1 Telluric Pearl. Complete 10 tasks, 1 legendary crest. All clans on deck. The armies of the burning hells are mustering their forces for a ploy, most assuredly of nefarious intent. You must rally your banner, adventurer. Call upon your clan for aid to beat back the tide of darkness. From June 24th, 3 a.m., July 2nd, 3 a.m. server time, Sanctuary will need all clans on deck. For more information about this event and its rewards, click this link to visit this article. New legendary items, new skills, and class balance. New skills. We're adding an additional skill for each class that unlocks at level 53. The aim with these new skills is to provide additional group utility or fill niches to better round out the toolkit of each class. Barbarian. Sundered 12-second cooldown, damage, briefly launch into the air and smash the ground with your weapon, generating a huge shockwave that deals damage to all enemies in the area while also increasing all damage they take by 30% for 6 seconds. Players will take increased damage for 3 seconds. It's like breaking the enemy's armor for a certain amount of time. Crusader. Fist of the Heavens 7-second cooldown, damage, call down Divine Wrath to strike up to 8 nearby enemies, damaging them. For every 10% of a targeted enemy's missing life, the damage dealt to that target by Fist of the Heavens will be increased by 25%. Demon Hunter. Shadow Sight 24-second cooldown, buff, immediately reveal all bosses, treasure goblins, elite monsters, and enemy players within 90 yards of you on the minimap and increase the movement speed of yourself and nearby allies by 20% for 12 seconds. I don't know if this is also useful since you can see players in the minimap in the battlegrounds. Though this is kinda useful in field grind. Monk. Breath of Heaven a 12-second cooldown, buff, immediately restore life and grant 60% increased movement speed to yourself and all nearby allies. Using Breath of Heaven on the same target again within 9 seconds reduces the healing amount by 50%. In combination with your stances. This skill will be very helpful. Necromancer. Borrow time, 30-second cooldown, buff, grant yourself or an ally borrow time for 8 seconds. If the target takes fatal damage during this borrow time, they will be resurrected at full life, but with a curse. The curse will drain 5% of the target's maximum life every second and lasts for a maximum of 16 seconds. The curse can be removed sooner if the target kills an enemy or assists in killing an enemy. Borrowed time will be automatically used on you when you take fatal damage if it is not on cooldown. We already know what this means. When the barbarians push the statue in the battlegrounds and they are supported by these necromancers, you know what will happen. Wizard. Frostfield, 20-second cooldown, control, create a field of gathering hoarfrost in an area. After a short delay, all enemies in the area will take damage and be frozen in ice for 12 seconds. Players will be frozen for a maximum of 4 seconds. Any enemy that takes damage after being frozen for at least 6 seconds will immediately be unfrozen. Players will be unfrozen if they take damage after being frozen for at least 2 seconds. Ah yes, this means you and your team will be frozen for 4 seconds, giving enemies the time to escape or worse, to gather up near you and launch attacks that can obliterate you and your team. 36 new legendary items. The legendary items mentioned below can only be obtained in Inferno difficulty I and above. So I will still have a lot of time to farm those essences that I still don't have. Barbarian. Axe of the Ray, main hand cleave, now hurls 2 whirling axes, dealing damage to enemies. Aren't the barbarians slightly becoming similar to Beastmaster of Dota? Haha. First Primal Roar, and now I think this whirling axe is also the same as Beastmaster's skill. Let's just find out after the update. Moving on. Beggar's Mallet, offhand hammer of the ancients, now throws a whirling hammer that returns to you, dealing damage to enemies in its path. 4. Chitinous Greaves, Pants Ground Stomp now unleashes the fury within you, burning enemies. Oslac Helmet, head while sprint is active. Your skills with projectile attacks are empowered with wind, allowing them to trigger Firestorm and deal 20% increased damage. Okay, let's see about this. Scallop Shell Armor, Chest Hammer of the Ancients deals additional damage to enemies the further away they are. Silver Flash, Shoulders Cleaves Knockback may now affect enemy players, but can only affect the same player once every 2 seconds. Crusader. Errant Ignition, Head Holy Banner now mounts a standard of flames to your back that bolsters the primary attacks of all nearby allies to burn enemies. Fenced Meadow, Shoulders Judgment now marks an area of retribution, dealing continual damage to enemies within. Additionally, enemies in the area suffering from other harmful effects will also be stunned. Grace of the Determined, Pan's Conjuration of Light also removes all harmful effects. Mete Out Mercy, Offhand Punish deals 30% increased damage to enemies suffering a total loss of control. Abseverer, main hand enemies struck by Punish take 10% increased damage from subsequent hits for 2 seconds. This effect stacks up to a maximum of 30%. Parrying Plates, Chest Conjuration of Light now grants immunity to knockbacks and loss of control effects, but it no longer provides immunity to damage. And this is what makes the knockback shots of the Demon Hunters useless against them. That's why I made a Demon Hunter build that can be more effective even without the knockback shot in my previous video. Link in the comments section below. Antipodal Order, Chest Knockback Shot now channels a flamethrower that burns enemies. This might be in a short distance similar to an actual flamethrower. And knockback shot range. Best Discretion, Head Escape's cooldown is reduced by 1 second each time you take damage, up to a maximum of 3 seconds. Feint Kiff, Pants Knife Trap now places a trap filled with hooked chains. When triggered, hooked chains explode from the trap, damaging and pulling all nearby enemies together to immobilize them. If this affects the trap drops by the escape skill, then this one is a good combo with the build I mentioned for the Demon Hunters. Gristlegrin, Offhand Knockback Shot deals 20% increased damage to enemies suffering from loss of control. Another huge damage buff for the Demon Hunters. Sling Prangs, Shoulders Knife Trap Explosions also shatter the enemy's armor, increasing damage taken by 10% for 3 seconds. The second drawback, Main Hand Impale now throws a knife that ricochets between enemies multiple times before falling to the ground. Picking up the knife reduces the remaining cooldown of Impale. Monk. Gift of Suffering, Pants Mystic allies now consume 10% of your maximum life to empower the spirits, increasing their attack and movement speed by 20%. Blooming Cove, Head Mystic allies summons an additional lesser spirit to fight by your side. Reticent Wind, Offhand Mystic Strike causes you to become invisible for 3 seconds. This and the Wave of Light, boom. Surprise Mother Father. Soptiv Lamplighter, Main Hand Mystic allies now summon 2 flaming spirits to fight by your side that cause nearby enemies to burn. Unbound River, Shoulders Flying Kick deals increased damage to shielded enemies. Winter's Embrace, Chest Cyclone Strike is now empowered with Icy Wind, dealing damage while pulling in nearby enemies to freeze them, but it can no longer be charged. Necromancer. Cage of Chum, Chest Bone Wall now conjures a veil of darkness that continually deals damage and generates corpses from enemies passing through. Draft Cryptic, Pants Dark Curse now casts a dark rune in an area that explodes after a short delay, damaging enemies and removing a beneficial effect from them. Gatefisk Helm, Head Grim Scythe now also slices through the enemy's armor, increasing damage taken by 10% for 3 seconds. Not Broad Skulls, Shoulders Bone Armor also increases primary attack speed by 15%. Ramshackle Scythe, Main Hand Bone Spear has a 50% chance to launch a larger penetrating bone spear that deals additional damage. Silvered Wings, Offhand Corpse Lance now consumes nearby corpses to empower your primary attack for 5 seconds. While empowered, your primary attacks will also launch a penetrating lance that deals increased damage for each corpse you consumed. Are we going to witness a duel of primary attacks between Demon Hunters and Necros? Let's find out. Wizard. Bluster Bauble, Offhand Ice Armor now conjures a violent storm around you, dealing damage to nearby enemies but no longer absorbs damage. Cold Calculus, Chest Ice Crystal now protects you inside a block of ice, making you invulnerable. While active, the ice block also chills and damages nearby enemies. Nick of Time, Main Hand Slow Time Radius increased by 20%. Pernicious Assistant, Shoulders Disintegrate now creates an illusion that channels a beam of pure energy in the targeted direction. Okay, this and the Ray of Frost illusion plus the Ice Crystal, these wizards can just sit back and relax at the back. Thunderous Applause, Pants Meteor now calls down a meteor shower that follows you, damaging and burning enemies, but it no longer stuns. Veil of Dross, Head Ice Crystal duration increased by 30%. 3 new Paragon specializations. The new Apothecary, Executioner, and Weaver Paragon specializations make their debut in Diablo Immortal. Unlock Inferno difficulty to harness their power for yourself. Apothecary, boost your life recovery while fighting alongside allies. Executioner, take down weakened enemies with devastating blows. Weaver, skillfully intertwine your attacks together to create the ultimate offensive. Class Balance. Barbarian skills. Hammer of the Ancients, cooldown reduced to 9 seconds from 12. Ground Stomp, charge time reduced to 0.5 seconds from 1. Barbarian items. Breaker's Wheel, offhand Hammer of the Ancients cooldown reduced to 9 seconds from 12. The Forgotten, offhand Hammer of the Ancients cooldown reduced to 9 seconds from 12. Paste in Powder, offhand Hammer of the Ancients cooldown reduced to 9 seconds from 15. Peace and Quietus, offhand Hammer of the Ancients cooldown reduced to 9 seconds from 12. Razor Grip, offhand Hammer of the Ancients charge time reduced to 0.5 seconds from 1, cooldown reduced to 9 seconds from 12. Rock Spike, Pants Ground Stomp charge time reduced to 0.5 seconds from 1. The Startler, offhand Hammer of the Ancients damage increased by 23%, cooldown reduced to 9 seconds from 12. Crusader skills. Shield Charge, charges increased by 1. Shield Glare, cooldown reduced to 9 seconds from 12. Crusader items. Constant Scrutiny, Shield Glare cooldown reduced to 9 seconds from 12. Pillager's Greaves, Pants Shield Charge charges increased by 1. Demon Hunter skills. Sentry, life increased for all versions of this skill. Spinning Chakram, damage increased by 19%. Demon Hunter items. Blade Thrower, offhand Spinning Chakram damage increased by 16%, charges increased by 1. Duplicitous Prophetics, chest knockback shot damage reduced by 9% and now only fires a knockback effect on the first shot, but the knockback distance is now increased from 0.5 to 2. Shredder Vein, offhand Spinning Chakram damage increased by 16%, charges increased by 1. Developers note, these changes aim to increase the skill component required to use knockback shot. Timing and aim are important parts of crowd control skills. Despite having a cooldown to prevent players from being hit multiple times in a row, this skill was too effective at locking down enemies while keeping the Demon Hunter in a safe position because timing and aim was not required. Demon Hunters will still have access to other tools, including cursed items, that allow them to provide control and support without locking down an entire objective for the duration of their bonus. Monk skills. Imprisoned Fist, charges increased by 1. Monk items. Authority of Patience, offhand Imprisoned Fist charges increased by 1, charge time reduced to 0.5 seconds from 1. Rising Tide, Shoulders Imprisoned Fist charges increased by 1 and animation speed increased. Stirring Titan, Head Inner Sanctuary cooldown reduced to 20 seconds from 30. Necromancer skills. Corpse Lance, damage increased by 9%. Necromancer items. Coals for Eyes, Head Command Skeleton's cooldown reduced to 0.3 seconds from 1, Skeleton dash speed increased by 100%, Necromancer's end cast animation time reduced. One-Armed Devourer, offhand Corpse Lance cooldown reduced to 2 seconds from 6. Ten Thorn, offhand Corpse Lance damage increased by 15%. Wizard skills. Slow time, cooldown reduced to 16 seconds from 18 for all versions of this skill. Wizard items. Crown of Arcane Truths, Helm Scorch damage increased by 15% and travel speed increased by 250%, cooldown reduced to 6 seconds from 9. Feature updates. Combat rating adjustment. Combat rating and primary attribute are now separate statistics. The combat rating for items will be displayed directly on them and is no longer based on the item's attribute. Items that drop will now have greater primary attribute diversity and an increased chance to have a higher combat rating. This is to help players grow their combat rating quickly and introduce more variety in their item choices. Battleground and Challenge Rift schedule change. On some servers, Battleground would reset in as little as 3 weeks, not leaving enough time for players to push to their desired rank. While on other servers, an Immortal Reign might be strong and last for longer periods of time, resulting in less rewards because the season doesn't end as frequently. Similarly, Challenge Rifts have weekly and monthly rewards that aren't directly tied to any in-game events. The following changes aim to update and unify the way this content in Diablo Immortal resets, to make the rewards and timing more consistent and forgiving. Starting on June 16th, all current Battleground seasons will end, and rewards will be distributed accordingly. Battleground and Challenge Rifts will now reset on a 10-week cycle that is independent of Cycle of Strife. The rewards are being updated accordingly as well. In addition to the seasonal one-time bracket and end-of-season rewards, Battleground will provide a weekly reward based upon your rank. Battleground participation is also being removed as a requirement for Badges of Honor because it's no longer tied to the reign being reset. Battleground rewards. Weekly rewards, Purification Shards, Charms, Scrap. End-of-season rewards, Reforged Stones, Normal Gems. Challenge Rifts will continue to provide weekly rewards, but the monthly rewards will instead be distributed at the end of the season. The 2, 3, and 4-player leaderboards have been removed as well. Our goal is to consolidate the seasonal gameplay into one event that happens on a fixed schedule. This is being done to provide players with more time to complete the activities and normalize the rewards for all players regardless of the Cycle of Strife cadence on their server. Challenge Rift rewards. Rift weekly rewards, Gold, Hilts, Scrap. End of season rewards, enigmatic crystals, hilts. Hidden lair rewards. Hidden lairs now reward guaranteed normal gems for each objective, up to a weekly maximum of 21 hidden lairs, 42 floors. The entrance menu will still indicate whether the player has reached the individual caps for each gem type, but it's now a weekly total instead of daily. This should reduce the effort needed to earn all associated rewards and assist players who might be catching up. Accursed Towers. To give smaller clans increased opportunity to claim towers and allow a smoother start to the season on servers with higher populations, we made some adjustments to Accursed Towers. The maximum number of towers available in each season has increased from 150 to 200. The number of regions has increased from 3 to 4. Two regions will unlock during the first week of each season. Ancestral Tableau. To support the adjustments to combat rating on gear, the Ancestral Tableau will now have a separate stat for combat rating. Max bonus values for each stat, except combat rating, will use the highest value among items placed in the tableau. The max bonus value for combat rating will be determined by averaging up to the top 4 combat rating values among items placed in the tableau. For example, if player A has a triple stat item that has 200 intellect, willpower, and fortitude, plus 500 combat rating, and player B has a double stat weapon with 300 vitality and willpower, plus 550 combat rating, then the max bonus for the Ancestral Tableau would be 200 intellect and fortitude, and 300 vitality, willpower, and 550 combat rating. Since there's no other weapons in the Ancestral Tableau in this example, the max bonus for strength would be 0. The drop rate of ancestral weapons has increased as well. Deeds of Valor Badges. The Akiba's Chosen Shadows Clan Leader badge now requires that you be the leader of a top 10 clan by the end of the Immortal Reign. Additionally, Battleground will no longer count towards your Deeds of Valor badge because Battleground no longer resets with the cycle of strife. Developers note, this change is meant to prevent players from becoming the leader of a shadow clan at the end of a cycle to get the best badge possible. These badges are meant to reward the leadership and organization required to run a clan and be successful in Diablo Immortal. The requirements to earn the Indomitable Deeds of Valor badge have also been adjusted to make it more readily obtainable for Immortals. Shadows Daily Quest Change. The Shadows Daily Challenge that required players to win a Battleground match is now play a Battleground match to allow for quicker completion. Immortal Eternal Crown Bonuses. When a new Immortal Reign starts, the Immortal's Eternal Crown bonuses will now begin as a 16% damage increase and 16% defense increase. The maximum benefit will persist as a 32% damage increase and 32% defense increase. Paragon Specialization in Battleground. Paragon specializations can no longer be swapped during an active battleground. They may still be swapped prior to the start of battle. Developers note, just like a regular skill, it was never intended for players to swap out of a Paragon specializations while its prominent abilities were on cooldown. We believe this strategy only further increases PvP lethality without any real downsides to players who choose to abuse the ability to swap specializations. We want Paragon choices to matter, and bypassing the cooldowns circumvented these design goals. Codex Objectives for Inferno Difficulties. There are new Codex Objectives for Inferno Difficulties 1, 2, and 3. They unlock at Paragon level 800, 900, and 1000 respectively. Prodigy's Path Refresh. We're refreshing Prodigy's Path to complement the new Paragon level cap. Prodigy's Path 4 will unlock when players reach level 700. Prodigy's Path I will disappear from the menu once players unlock Prodigy's Path 4. All unclaimed rewards will be sent to your inbox. Players can continue to claim Prodigy's Path for rewards after Paragon level 800, based upon the expected Paragon level, if they choose to stop leveling at Paragon level 799. Hero's Journey. Following the maintenance windows for this major content update, all current progress for Hero's Journey chapters 1 through 6 will be paused and a new Hero's Journey will begin. Only chapters 1 through 4 will be available for the new Hero's Journey, with chapters 5 and 6 coming later. This Hero's Journey is planned to be available for about 6 months, like previous iterations. While completing their chapters, adventurers will receive a bevy of rewards, and once chapter 4 is completed, they will receive the Resplendent Journey Frame, a token of triumph. Activity Scheduler. Scheduled activities created by your fellow warband or clan members will now display a red dot to increase their visibility. So that's it, everyone. Thank you for watching. Happy gaming!